though, as you say, it might be a bit of a boring, I don't find this boring at all, and you have made it a lot of fun, so thank you for that, John. Now, our third speaker is Lesley van Staveren. Lesley is a co-owner of F&Q Plastics and a president of the Committee for Waste Reduction. Being in the plastic industry and seeing the impact at a direct level, as well as the difference between solutions versus single-use items, she sees the responsibility of leading the way in raising awareness. She believes in always working as a collective to do better for our region and the future of the next generation. Today, she's speaking on behalf of the Committee for Waste Reduction on why it is important to build environmental responsibility in your business. So please make her feel welcome.
Good morning. Well, I've got to say, firstly, I love listening to Amy and John. Fantastic start off for the morning. And thank you to the Cairns Business Women's Club for doing a topic like this, because they're all so crucial. And I think sometimes subjects that we need a little bit of guidance on. Environmental responsibility. In its simplest explanation, is the duty that a company has to operate in a way that protects the environment. But it's the how and the why that defines it and makes it such a potentially exciting subject. But to begin with, to know why it's so crucial at the moment, we have to be able to capture the reason it started as to why we're in the position we are today, because it's not by accident. It's by a continuous chain of events and choices over generations. If you look at World War II in combination with new industries, so World War II, people are deprived from resources, materials, accessibility to foods, and then coming into an area like the 50s, where you've got new industries. So marketing campaigns have shaped where we are at the moment. So we've gone from human deprivation and resources to all of a sudden come out of a really terrifying time to all of a sudden you can get everything you want, all the food you want, all the previous resources. And then add on to that new resources that are better than anything there was before, and it outperforms wood, timber, any other materials in the form of plastic. It'd been around since the 1800s, but the exciting thing was, it also came into play in the biggest way possible. At the same time, media was on the rise, so TV and radio. So take into consideration that. Imagine you've been deprived of all these great things that you love. And all of a sudden you've got access to everything possible, and someone telling you, it's great. You don't have to wash up anymore because you've got convenience takeaways. It's not cool to be doing work. It's not cool to be washing up and clearing up after yourself. You can just chuck it in the bin. You've got permission to make your life as easy as possible. How great is that? Who doesn't want convenience? So you've got accessibility to everything, and someone telling you it's okay to chuck stuff in the bin. That's all right. It's fashionable to do it. But the interesting thing is, if we look at such an influx of marketing campaigns, that's brought us to where we are now, because over generations, we've implemented that over the years into generation after generation. It's just the way we do things. So now, it's habit. We're at a stage where plastic waste is growing by the minute. Even to give you an example, population growth from 1996 to 2015, 28%. Now, who can guess in the same period what the waste growth has been in the same period? Any guesses? 100%? 170% in the same time period. It is astounding. So if you think if we continue to go on the path that we're on,
see, Sheehan, how that's just statistics, that's just a random bubble of a fact, but let me break it down into something that you can imagine. Because out of that 300 million tonnes of plastic, 50% is on single use. There's a big difference between things that are solutions-based, because you want cheap flights, right? Who doesn't want cheap flights? So to put money back in your pocket, airlines and aviation use parts manufactured from plastic because it outperforms metals, also reduces weight, so reduces fuel costs, so it gives you back financial benefit. However, when you look at things like your takeaway cups, your plastic bottles, do you really need them? Is there any massive benefit that you couldn't find a little alternative to? So, just to give you perspective on that, if you can imagine what that might look like, 1 tonne of plastic is around 25,000 single-use plastic water bottles. So just imagine that as year upon year. It's a little bit terrifying. But what's exciting, I don't know if a lot of you have noticed, there's a real movement at the moment. There's so much excitement and people wanting to do better, wanting to really do better in their own lifestyle, in business, but they just need a way to have a voice, a way to make a change and do better. And it's by people leading the way that does that and inspiring our next generation. And I was listening to something earlier on this morning that said even for kids, they've grown up being told to sit up and shut up. You just do what you're told. What about for the next generation? While we're looking at subjects like this, we teach them to stand up and speak out. But it's us that needs to lead the way on that. China. Now, we've been in the habit of sending off all of our plastic waste overseas. We don't want to deal with it ourselves, do we? We just use it, on off it goes, gets processed, and then we can buy it back. China's saying no. December the 31st of this year, they're banning the imports of overseas plastic waste. So we're going to have a little problem on our hands if we don't start to look at what we can do about it ourselves. Our mindset shift, I've already covered that. Obviously skipped a couple of points. I need to revise my slides a little bit better. But environmental responsibility. So this is great, and this is why I say I love listening to Amy and John, because it all ties in. Social, corporate, and environmental. Because this is actually a really exciting way to strengthen your business. How about that for an interesting statistic? More than 88% of consumers think companies should try and achieve their goals while improving society and environment. It's not enough anymore to meet the bottom line. It's not enough anymore to make the money. People want more and more and more. Add on to that, people will drive an extra 11 minutes to go to a business that is environmentally aware. Extra 11 minutes to choose your business over someone else. So you've got a real exciting time at the moment where you can strengthen what you do in a very different way. This is just simple workplace things, even in your business. For example, FNQ Plastics now, yes, we do solutions plastic, but we don't have single use. At our water fountain, we don't have plastic cups, we just have glasses and we wash up. Or have paper cups. There's really simple little ways in every single business that might be really obvious that's just a really simple swap. It's possible. It doesn't have to be rocket science. But there's different ways to do it and different preferred ways. Obviously, number one is avoid it. So look at how you can drop out things from your day-to-day business operation. And the interesting thing is there's a lot that you can drop out that will reduce cost and in turn raise your bottom line. Reducing. So I've said plastic cups is one. Use old paper. Use it as notepads. Don't have single-use cutlery in your tea rooms, things like that. Just really easy ways to reduce. Reuse. Most of you got reusable water bottles or reusable takeaway cups. I'm going to give you a couple of challenges at the end to tie that in. Recycle. Are you separating stuff? Do you know what goes where? And that's the big thing. Education and awareness is the key factor to anything to do with environmental responsibility. And recover and obviously dispose comes way, way, way down the bottom, as that's what we want to try and minimise. A lot of facts we see are global perspective. And I wanted to even give you a couple of facts on Australia alone because it's relevant to us, it's where we live. So this is just 3 main facts. I didn't want to bombard you with a whole page of them. But imagine this, 1.3 billion plastic water bottles a year, just in Australia. 2.6 billion takeaway cups a year, which don't break down because they're plastic and paper. They can't actually be recycled. And 2.7 billion straws a year. But when you couple all of those uses with the fact 87% of us believe we should do better and use less plastic, why aren't we? So it's really interesting when you look at we want to do better, we want to have a change, and yet there's still that amount of views. But as I say, times are changing and exciting things are happening. But actions speak louder than words. But actually, there's a couple of other points I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to go backwards, put this down here so I stop clicking. When you look at your company, you want people to connect with you. And the interesting thing is with environmental responsibility, it's actually a way for people to learn more about you, your values, what you stand for. Because we all have products, we all have services, that's great, but what people really connect with is you. It's the person, it's the emotion, it's the feeling. So how about if you had a way for your business to actually define yourself, to propel yourself forward and give people more reasons to connect? The stronger you can actually showcase your values through your business and everything you do, it's showing people who you are. It's giving them a personal identity to connect with you. And even one of the biggest examples, GE, they were one of the biggest polluters in the world for 3 decades, known for fracking, toxic dumping. What they did is they launched the Eco-Imagination. They embraced their brand with being able to show all of the values and responsibility through their teams, through their products, through their services, and have now turned their whole business around and raised profits, raised reputation, strengthened branding through environmental responsibility, and they're now known as one of the top performers for environmental responsibility. So it's fascinating how we can actually turn it around and leverage it and use it to show exactly who you are, what you're about, and give people a reason to talk about your company so you can strengthen your business through ways like this. Give people a reason to talk, because even when you look at everything going viral, one of the things that people love sharing at the moment, every single time we're seeing innovation that will do better, that will save the oceans, or a company dropping out straws completely, or change their cups, people are sharing and saying, look at this company, how great are they? Check these guys out. People love sharing the good stuff. There's a lot of positivity in the world and people love talking about it. Why wouldn't you? It gives people another reason for you to get in front of people and to raise conversations, and that's what it's all about. So if you didn't know, this is currently National Recycling Week. We're halfway through. And I've got a couple of challenges for you. I thought I'd just start off with 3, and even if you can pick one, I would love it, and I'd love to hear about it as well. Selfie challenge. Who doesn't like Facebook and Instagram and posting pictures themselves? So how about if you made it a bit of fun for the week? Take pictures. Even if you're out and about, I mean, I see Sharon Hine and Simon Darrington, they're always out with their reusable water bottles, taking pictures and saying, we're out again. It's, out on the road, they're using it as a topic for conversation to share. So, is there anything that you are doing at the moment that you think is a little bit different, that you could take a picture of to share, something that even you enjoy, or something as habit? Because it's interesting, the different things that we have as habits, someone else might think, oh, that's so obvious. It's just about inspiring others. So take pictures, you and your team or you and your friend, take pictures of doing great stuff for the next week, and that'll actually start the thought process even in your mind to keep on going. The coffee cup challenge. Who here doesn't have a reusable coffee cup? Doesn't?
I don't drink coffee.
Oh, of course, you wouldn't. I was going to say, surely not Amy. So, get in the habit of keeping that coffee cup in your car. Go reusable. And the lunch challenge. And I think that even for yourself or your kids, it's possible. It just does take a little bit more preparation. But, you know, look at building in the time. See what you can do. Lunch challenge. And just use a lot more fresh produce. And make stuff. But again, it's just all creating time, because I recognise we're all busy people. It's just working in how to fit it. But even get the kids involved in putting their lunches together and helping you out. Even that we try. Sometimes it's not always that successful as they're 2, 4 and 5, but you do what you can. So these are just a couple of challenges. I'm really excited at the end session to tell you about an event coming up on Friday. So good luck with your challenges.
There he goes. Okay. Hi. I thought I'd stand here